Hello and welcome to the Rep Portal. So you should have already been on here when you registered as a rep under the Become a Rep section, but this is a little tutorial on how to use it and some of the updates that we've recently had added to the portal itself. So first of all, you would know Become a Rep. I will get to submit feedback a little bit later as that's the one that requires the most time to explain. We have the Who's Your Rep section. So if you ever need to know the other reps on your course, you can find out here. So for example, we have the Very Fake course. I am the only rep registered there, but it will show you all the reps for the course and what stage they're on. And if you need to contact them, you can go by clicking this button here, typing in a message, and it will send over an email to that rep's email address, and they can respond to that or take that feedback forward. Then there is also the View Feedback section. So any feedback that you have submitted previously, once you submitted it, you wouldn't be able to then access it again. But now you are able to see the current status of that feedback, which allows you to chase up any feedback that hasn't been resolved. So as you can see here, it tells you which feedback you submitted. I can tell they're all to do with timetables. That's just whenever I do the example, I always use timetables as an example, as it's one that's quite common that comes up. But it will tell you if the feedback's been resolved, if it's been marked in progress, or if it hasn't been touched at all, it will say awaiting. Then you are also invited to program committee meetings. These are not mandatory, but in our constitution it says the rep should still be invited. If you ever want to attend one of those, it should be after your rep meetings, and you can see the dates and times of when they are and who to contact. This won't show any because this course is a fake course, so it's only showing fake dates and times there. But if you ever are having issues and it's not showing your dates and times of the program committee meetings, it will tell you who to contact over here. And that will allow you to find out when those meetings are, as they are set up by the colleges themselves. So if they're not showing down here when they are, please do contact whoever your office mentor is or the email address, and they'll be able to tell you when the next program committee meeting is. And finally, to submit feedback, you first of all have to accept the privacy notice. And I like to describe it as, it's a bit like an email template. So first of all, you have to choose what term the feedback's being submitted in. So for this, it'll be the autumn term. The title of topic, that will be basically the subject line of your email. So for example, I said timetabling in one. Let's try something new for once. Maybe coursework dates too close. And then you have to pick a category for which that title relates to. So for this one, it would come under... This one, it would come under exams and assignments. And then you have 400 characters to describe what the issue is. The reason it's 400 characters is these should be discussed in your rep meetings, so you'll be able to elaborate a bit more there. But for example, we'll make up a fake course. Intro to... this is a fake course. I like video games. We'll go intro to video games. Coursework. And intro to... I also like food. These aren't real courses, obviously. Due dates are too close together, causing problems for students as they need a bit extra time to finish the second one. Something along those lines. And you then put in if there's been any actions so far. So if you have already spoken and discussed this with the program leader, but not in a rep meeting, still make sure to record it. So for example, I can say, spoken to Bob, who said they'll look into this. The reason I tell you to make sure to record it, even if you've discussed it already, is because it allows us to see the trends of feedback that's going forward, to see if there's any more bigger institutional sized issues that are coming out from this, but also it allows there to be a trace of any feedback you put forward. Because if you've spoken to, in this example, Bob, if Bob was suddenly to forget, and then you would later go, "Hey Bob, is there anything happening here?" And they'll be like, "Oh, you've never spoken to me about that." It allows there to be a trace of any feedback you've put forward, and it can be seen by the university. You can also propose a resolution. It's not guaranteed that the resolution will come into place because it's only a suggestion, but for this one, it would be along the lines of extend deadline for intro to food by a few days, something along those lines. And then if you have any attachments, such as a survey result, images of something regarding the feedback, say there's a technical issue and you want to show the error code, something like that, you can attach files to go along with the feedback right here. I do need to remind you that every single piece of feedback, if it's coming from someone else, should remain anonymous unless the student says otherwise. If they haven't said anything, then you have to just assume that they want it submitted anonymous. So please don't involve anyone's names unless they ask to put their names with the feedback. Once you click submit, it will ask you if you want to submit more feedback. So if you are submitting feedback, make sure to put different pieces of feedback into separate posts. One, because it will record it as separate pieces of feedback, so it will go towards your score. But also, it avoids confusion and lets us follow the trends a lot clearer. So if, for example, you have one bit of feedback about coursework issues and then another about timetabling, don't try and cram it all into one. You can just submit another piece of feedback by clicking yes. But in this case, as we have no further pieces of feedback to submit, we click no. And that has now been uploaded. You should receive an email to say that the feedback has been submitted, and that will be sent off to your program leader. And you can go back to the homepage here if you need to access anything else. And in a few minutes, that will soon update to say that your new piece of feedback has been added. Sometimes you do need to refresh the page. It just depends, really. But that is the portal there. All feedback should be brought up in rep meetings, so make sure to go through any feedback with your program leader. That is the end of the training. There'll be a few more questions to go ahead. I wish you the best of luck with the rest of the training. And again, if you have any issues on the portal, any issues with your role as rep, please do not hesitate to get in contact. Thank you very much.